Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about something that I am really struggling with right now, which is motivation, staying motivated. So I am losing my motivation, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm getting to the point in the semester where I'm just getting really tired of studying all the time. I just kind of want to lay on the couch and watch TV and hang out, and I can't afford to do that, and I'm just getting a little burnt out. So I've been looking at some ways for me to stay motivated, some different techniques to use, different methods, I don't know, however you want to word it, to stay motivated while in school. So I've came up with a couple tips. Hopefully this helps you. I know I'm definitely going to be using these tips in the next couple of weeks to get myself back on track and keep my motivation until the end of this semester, because it's only March, so I still got a couple months to go until the semester ends. So I'm going to use a couple of these tips. Hopefully they help you stay motivated while you're in school or in life or whatever you're doing. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So my first tip is to make short-term goals. So for me, I tend to get caught up in kind of the bigger picture. Obviously, my long-term goal right now is to get through pharmacy school, to graduate in 2020, but that's a long time from now. That's like, what, 3 years from now? So I think it's really important to set short-term goals for yourself. What I've been trying to do the last couple of weeks is split them up, like divide however many lectures I have by how many days I have left until the exam. So for my microbiology exam that I had a couple weeks ago, for example, I had like 20 something PowerPoint slides. So I divided it up so that every day for about 2 weeks leading up to the exam, I studied 3 slides, not slides, that'd be great, 3 PowerPoint presentations. Every day leading up to the exam for 2 weeks. And that way I kept up on the material. I was, teaching myself all of the stuff leading up to the exam, and I was doing it far enough out so that when I got to like the weekend before the exam, I wasn't cramming all of that material into my brain, because as you know, cramming is just never a good way to go. I tend to make lists for everything because I'm just a neurotic list making person, but I make short-term goals for every day, and then I also make short-term goals for every week. So every day I kind of make a list of everything I want to accomplish, all the lectures I want to watch, all the assignments that I want to get done if I'm far enough in the material where I can get those assignments done, things like that. And then for the end of the week, I have like a bigger picture kind of the things I wanted to have accomplished. And I think that helps keep you on track, and meeting those short-term goals kind of help aid you in getting to your long-term goal. So that is my first tip. So set short-term goals to help get to your long-term goal. My second tip is to reward yourself. So when you achieve those short-term goals, reward yourself. Maybe not every little short-term goal, but like for me, if I do really well on an exam, those are usually my longer term, short term goals, if that makes sense. My long term goal is get through the year or get through pharmacy school in general. But you have exams that you have to pass along the way. So those are kind of shorter term goals in the big term, if that makes sense. So I will, if I do really well on an exam, I will reward myself. I will maybe give myself the night off, put my feet up, watch a movie, and have a glass of wine. Or, give myself kind of a spa night, have a bath and a face mask, which for girls that's fun. So I'll give myself those little rewards. And that helps you stay motivated and keeps you on track because you're looking forward to giving yourself the night off. Now don't reward yourself if you fail. Don't feel bad for yourself and be like, oh, I'm gonna pamper myself because I did bad and I need to feel better. No, that's not gonna help you stay on track. That's gonna reward yourself for bad behavior, and Dr. Phil would not be happy with you. But yeah, I think it's really important to reward yourself for those things because we get so caught up on, oh my gosh, I have a million things to do, I don't have time to reward myself. But you need to, because that will keep you on track and keep you sane, which we all need. My third tip is to mix it up. It can get so monotonous to sit in the same room at the same desk in the same spot studying the same material, well, not the same material, but studying your material the exact same way. So it's really important to mix it up. So I try to study in here in my office. I'll study at my dining room table, sometimes on my couch if I'm not like writing a lot, or a Starbucks or a Panera or a library. Just get out of your comfort zone, get out of the space that you usually study. For one, that's a good technique just for like test taking strategies. Put yourself in different settings and study the material. You'll be more likely to remember it. But also it'll break up the monotony, so you're not so bored sitting at the same desk doing the same things constantly. It can get so boring. So mix it up. also mix up how you study. So, and that kind of just happens because you have different classes. So if you're studying the same way for all of your classes, you're probably not doing as well in some as you are in others, because different classes you kind of need to study differently. Like my OTC class, where we are memorizing the drugs, like the over-the-counter drugs and the dosages and all that, I can't study the same way for that I study for biochem, because they're completely different types of courses. So mix up the way you study too. That'll keep it from getting so boring and so monotonous, and keep it kind of fresh and exciting. My fourth tip is make time for yourself, for your friends, for your family, for fun. That's so important, because if all we do is work, 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 you're gonna burn out. You're going to miss your family, you're gonna miss your friends, and you're just gonna get tired and sick of doing it. And then you're gonna get lazy, and then you're gonna fail everything. It's a downward spiral. What I do, and I actually saw this in a TED Talk that I watched over the weekend, which I'll link in the box below. I snapped about it on Snapchat if you were following me, so this is a video that you probably already saw me snap about. Basically, it was a video or TED Talk about how like the highest achieving students study and how, like, what they do. And one of the things they were saying is the highest achieving students, when they make their study schedule, they put in their social activities first, which is so important, because you can study all the time. That's what you're doing. If you're a full-time student, that's what you're doing all the time. It's important to fill in those social things so that you make sure you have that social time. Now, don't put so much social time that you don't get any studying done. That's not the point. But for example, this week, for me, like yesterday, I went to a bridal showcase with my mom. I put that in on the day first. On Friday, I'm going shopping for my wedding dress, so I put that in first. So then all my studying is going to be worked around those things. And I'm still getting everything done, but I'm making sure that I have that time to get those things done, to see my friends, to see my family. And that just keeps your spirits up, it keeps you happier, it keeps you sane, and it keeps you motivated, because you're not completely just burnt out because you're only in your office or your room studying 24/7. My last tip is to remember why you want to do this. Why did you decide to go to school? What are your goals? What is your point of going to school? For me, and I've talked about this in previous videos, for me, I don't want to go back to my old profession, right? I changed professions to go to pharmacy school. I used to be a teacher. Now I'm in school, and my biggest motivation is not going back to teaching, because I was miserable, and that really keeps me motivated. Anytime I don't want to study, I just think about, remember where you could be. Remember where your friends still are right now. I still get text messages from my friends who still work there who are completely miserable. But it's really important to think about why you're doing this. Are you going to school because you really want to help people? You really like science, you just love to learn about it. You're really fascinated by the medicine, things like that. Why are you doing this? Because otherwise there really isn't a point to it, is there? So just keep in mind why you're going back to school. That will really help keep you on the right track and keep you motivated, because that's why you're there in the first place. Okay guys, so hopefully that was a little bit helpful for you. I know those probably aren't like groundbreaking things you've never heard of before, but I think it's just important to keep those things in mind, and I think a lot of times we forget what the point of what we're doing is. Why are we doing this? Why did we choose, and it's a choice, why did we choose this path? And so I think it's really important to keep these things in mind, to keep motivated, because you got to keep going. You got to get through the school. You don't want to drop out. You don't want to try to go to some other profession that you don't want to be in. So just keep it in mind. Keep pushing through. I'm with you. I'm struggling too. We'll motivate each other. So if you have any additional tips, things that keep you motivated, please leave those in the comments below, because I would love to hear them, and I'm sure everybody else would too. And if you have any questions for me about my school, pharmacy school in general, admissions, anything, feel free to message me on my social media or my email. Those are all also in the box below. Please don't hesitate to contact me. I have a lot of people who do, and I love talking to everybody. I'm sorry if I don't get back right away, because sometimes I'll be in the middle of schoolwork and I don't want to like pull myself away and then try to refocus again. But I try to respond within like a day, unless I forget that I got it. You know, Instagram needs to work on that notification, because it like doesn't remind me that people message me, and sometimes I forget. But I always try to get back to you. So please, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. I love to answer them. And that about ends this video. So I hope you all have a great week. Keep your chin up, stay motivated, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.